Number one, want to credit Miami. What a game they played, and we jumped out on them early. And everybody says Miami will lay down and quit on you. They didn't. They came right back and they fought. And usually you have to win the last 5 minutes before the half to win the game. We didn't. They won. In fact, I think they scored twice, 10 points within 7 minutes. And then you have to come out and win the first 5 minutes of the second half, and they drove right down the field again. So they fought back and forth. Their quarterback played so well, and we couldn't force a turnover. So give them credit for this. Atmosphere was the best I've ever seen here. It was unbelievable. So thanks to our students and our fans for coming out tonight and making a difference in this ball game. And I thought it disrupted some things that Miami was trying to do. But for a team who struggled over the last couple of years to win fourth quarter games, I'm so happy to see them do it twice, 2 weeks in a row. It's really special. It was a team win. The whole team and staff made a bunch of mistakes again. But the whole team made enough good plays along with the bad plays in all three phases to win the game. And the kicking game was much better tonight than it was. Our punting needs to get better, but our punt coverage, our kickoff coverage, Mike Rubino kicking it out every time really helped us to keep some of their speed off the field. And you have to be so excited for the way Sam Howell played at the end of the game. We sat there with there's 22 minutes and 55 seconds left. You've used your timeouts. You've only got one left, and I just used it because I didn't want the clock to run off 40 more seconds. And we weren't stopping them. So we thought about it, thought about going ahead and punting it, but that means we would have had to have a 3 and out. We'd have 30 seconds left in the game with no timeouts. And we felt like after having 2 straight sacks, that our odds of a 4th and 17 were better than punting and stopping them in 3 downs. So it looked really bad or awful. So that's about what we were looking at. And then Sam just stepped right up and hit Toe Groves for 18 yards, I think. And just remarkable the way he played down the stretch. And give Phil Longo a lot of credit for the calls that he made, too.
How does the team, I'm sorry.
Go.
How does the team learn how to win, given what this club has experienced in 4
It's really a good question. I think they just you just start believing in each other, and you have to start acting right, and you have to start going to class, and you have to start doing every little thing right together, and then you start believing in each other because you think that, and you also make enough mistakes that when you make one, you don't jump all over the other guy. And I thought the best thing we probably did as a group was kept our composure tonight, because there were times we could have unraveled as a staff and a group of players. And I thought that was probably the best thing. And the other thing that we've always said is when things are bad, be positive. Be as positive as you can be. And we were very positive at halftime, even though I didn't feel very good. And I think the guys feed off of that.
Mack, there are ACC quarterbacks who may go their entire career with 2 fourth-quarter comebacks or play a couple of years to get that. What is it about Sam that's enabled him to survive and thrive in these pressure situations this early in his career?
Yeah, he's had good people around him. We've got good players, and that's a credit to Larry Fedora and his staff. The second part is he's got ice in his veins. He's very confident, and the weirdest thing about him, he gets sacked, and he throws a touchdown pass, and you can't tell the difference in his demeanor. He's very similar in both cases, but he just kept hanging in there. We started out so well offensively, and then we couldn't run the ball, and started getting pressure on him because we only had 33 yards rushing at halftime, and we felt like we had to come out and throw more on first down and loosen it up more in the third quarter, and we were able to do that some. But we still had some trouble in the red zone too. But I thought the ability of Phil Longo and Sam to get us in the right plays at the end of the game, and then the 2-point play was just a tremendous call. And we have to give a lot of credit to that offensive line for 2 weeks in a row, and the fact that Javonte Williams and Michael Carter, when we give them a chance, they're both really good backs.
You said Wednesday that this game would be a test of whether y'all look real or still work in progress. What do you take from it?
I think we're kind of for real work in progress. I think that's it. We're not there yet by any means, and we can do a better job coaching. Well, there's so many things. I'm sitting there and we cannot get on a young guy about Javonte made the wrong cut. That's our job. Well, they ran the wrong route. No, no, no. You didn't teach the right route. You're either teaching it or allowing it. So he was too wide. He didn't make the tackle inside out. So our coaches can do so much better job with these young guys to put them in the right positions and just keep working. And again, it's a lot easier to coach them hard when you win. And Wake Forest has done a great job. They don't turn the ball over. They don't have any penalties. Dave does a tremendous job of keeping the game close and winning in the fourth quarter. And so we'll have our hands full Friday night.
On that note, talk about the challenge. What is that challenge of a short week? And obviously, Wake Forest, you barely had a chance to see them since they played on Friday night.
Yeah, this is one of the most physical games I've ever been around. These two teams hit each other all night from the start till the end. So we're going to be really, really sore tomorrow. And some guys came out. Some really fought through it. They were banged up and they just kept playing. But I know we lost 2 or 3 tonight. I don't know how bad it is. I refuse to talk about it till the next morning because I want to make sure that the parents know and that the doctors have had time to really evaluate before we talk about it. But they'll be sore in the morning. We just got to go back to work. We can't wait. And that's part of the process of growing up too. You can't. They got bragged on so much last week that Tuesday's practice wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. They're going to get bragged on more tonight and tomorrow. In fact, they're probably all up at the tower right now with lighting, and I appreciate Chancellor Gustowitz letting us light that tower. That's the coolest thing. I just think it's the coolest thing. We tried to get it done when I was here before, and we couldn't, and then they do it at Texas, and it's really a cool tradition, but our players have just loved it so much. And on a night like tonight, it's a way to honor them, and I appreciate Kevin us letting us do that.
Did you have the dance moves back on the field right there?
Did I what?
Walking off the dance moves?
No, they tried hard, and I would have been divorced. Sally was over there looking, she's going, no, do not. So they kept, I said, no, I'm through, I'm retired. So I did not. I wiggled a little bit, but it wasn't as bad as it was the other day.
Foresee a start like this, and obviously 2 really tough opponents coming back. And
Yeah.
lost 14 games last.
You know, I didn't foresee it, but I also, I know football's a crazy game. And you look at some of those scores today, and how does it happen? You can look at last week's scores, and about the time we think it can't happen, it does. So I came back, Sally came back just to be positive and try to help kids. And they're responding really, really well to that, and it makes it fun for me. Manny Diaz has done a tremendous job, and he's the right guy at Miami. South Carolina wins today 72-10, so they got good players, and Will's done a tremendous job there. So this is two nobody expected us to win. And now we'll start having a little bit more conversation about we've got a chance to be decent. And when you do that, I heard some, top 25 in the dressing room. I said, no, don't go there, brother. You just barely won this game. So, but I do think we have a chance to keep getting better.
You had fans chanting. You want Clemson.
Yeah, well, they don't have to play. we don't want anybody except a good night's sleep. That's all we want. What else? Yes.
The touchdown passer, Newsom, he wasn't the primary target.
Oh.
Is that a good example again of Sam finding where to go with the ball, even though it's not the primary guy?
It is. It was interesting when Phil Longo said, "Let's go for the 4th and 17." I said, "You just had 2 sacks." I said, "Why should I be excited about your 4th and 17 call?" He said, I think that's better right now than having 30 seconds left on the clock with no timeouts." And we decided to go for it. But how does that happen on 4th and 17? I mean, that's just that's hard to do. And Sam found the right guy. Most young guys, he had pressure. He stepped up and found the right guy. Most young guys that hit somebody underneath and the game's over. So we're really, really fortunate that when we give him time, and we still need to run the ball well enough that we can protect. When we give him time, he's really good.